Most people spend their entire lives chasing things they think will make them happy. More money, a bigger house, a better car, a prettier girlfriend, a job with a cooler title, followers, likes, attention, validation from people who don't even care if they're alive tomorrow. They run themselves into the ground chasing external things because that's what they've been taught to do. From the moment you're old enough to understand language, you're bombarded with messages telling you that you're not enough as you are. Every commercial, every ad, every influencer post, every movie, every song, every subtle social cue points to one message. You'll be happy when you get this job, when you buy this thing, when you hit this milestone, when you look like this, when you achieve that. It's a lie. And deep down, you probably already know it, because if the things you've been chasing worked, you'd already be happy. But you're not. You might have moments of distraction, moments of pleasure, but those aren't the same as being at peace. Most people have never actually sat in a quiet room by themselves without a phone, a screen, a distraction, and felt genuinely content just existing. And until you do, you'll keep chasing ghosts. The thing nobody wants to admit is that happiness isn't something you find. It's not something you stumble across one day like buried treasure. It's something you build, and it's something you have to fight for, because the world is designed to keep you restless. A restless population buys more, consumes more, needs more. A restless man is a profitable man. That's why every single thing around you is engineered to trigger desire and dissatisfaction. Scroll your phone for 5 minutes and you'll see a dozen ads showing you the life you should have, the body you should have, the things you should own, the experiences you should be chasing. It's constant, and if you don't learn to control it, it will control you for your entire life. The real reason you'll never be happy until you do this one thing is because you're outsourcing your peace to external circumstances. And the moment you hand over control of your emotional state to things you can't control, you lose. Life will never stop throwing chaos your way. Bad things will happen. People you care about will die. You'll fail. You'll get betrayed. You'll be rejected. You'll lose money. You'll get sick. That's the deal you signed up for by being born into this planet. But the people who survive it with any level of sanity, peace, and strength are the ones who learn to anchor their emotional state to something internal: discipline, principles, purpose. You don't control what happens to you, but you control how you respond to it. And the second you stop making your peace conditional on everything going right, you get your power back. The thing you have to do is this: learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Learn to sit with your emotions without needing to numb them, distract from them, or avoid them. Learn to delay gratification. Learn to do hard things when you don't feel like it. Learn to face your fears, your insecurities, your jealousy, your bitterness, your entitlement, and deal with them head on instead of pretending they're not there. Most people stay miserable because they refuse to do the inner work. They'll drop thousands on a new car but won't spend an hour addressing their childhood trauma. They'll chase every get-rich-quick scheme but won't stick to one discipline long enough to build real skills. They'll look for shortcuts, hacks, dopamine hits, and validation because it's easier than sitting in a room alone with themselves. Happiness is not the absence of problems. It's the ability to handle problems without breaking. It's waking up knowing the world might throw every possible obstacle in your path and still choosing to show up as your highest self. It's not being immune to pain. It's having the strength to carry it without letting it turn you bitter. And you don't get that from reading a quote on Instagram. You get it from repeatedly doing hard things, denying yourself temporary pleasure for long-term fulfillment, and anchoring your identity in who you are, not what you have. The only path to real happiness is through discomfort, because that's where growth happens. Every person you admire, every success story you look up to, every mentally strong individual you wish you were more like got that way by facing their demons, not avoiding them. You can't buy your way out of emptiness. You can't drink it away, party it away, or scroll it away. The only way out is through discipline, through accountability, through building habits that make you proud of yourself, through cutting out the people, habits, and vices that drain your soul, even if it means being alone for a while, especially if it means being alone for a while. Most people stay in toxic friendships and relationships because they're more afraid of loneliness than they are of wasting their life. But solitude is where you meet yourself. And until you learn to be alone with your thoughts, your emotions, and your flaws, you'll always be chasing something to fill the silence. Most people don't realize how much of their unhappiness comes from the gap between who they pretend to be and who they really are. Social media has made it easier than ever to curate a life, a persona, an image, a brand. But when you strip it all away, when there's no audience, no likes, no one watching, who are you? Are you proud of the person staring back at you in the mirror? Can you go to bed at night with the choices you've made? Are you living according to your own values, or just mimicking what you think is expected of you? Happiness isn't a destination you arrive at once. Everything's perfect. It's a byproduct of integrity, of living in alignment with your own truth, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's unpopular, even when it costs you relationships, opportunities, and short-term pleasure. Most people aren't unhappy because life is so terrible. They're unhappy because they're living a lie. They know it. and the dissonance eats away at them. Every time you betray yourself, every time you settle, every time you bite your tongue when you should speak up, every time you say yes when you mean no, every time you lower your standards, you chip away at your own soul, and it's death by 1,000 cuts. You want to be happy? Start there. Start telling the truth. Start keeping the promises you make to yourself. Start doing the things you know you should be doing, not because someone's watching, not because you'll get a trophy, but because you refuse to let yourself down anymore. You've been taught to avoid discomfort at all costs, to chase ease, comfort, convenience, and pleasure. But the paradox is, the more you chase comfort, the more miserable you become. Growth requires friction. Confidence comes from competence, and competence is built through repetition, through failure, through struggle. The happiest people I know are not the ones with the fewest problems. They're the ones who've built themselves into the kind of person who can handle anything life throws at them. Because when you know you can trust yourself, when you know you'll have your own back no matter what, external circumstances lose their power over you, the economy crashes. You'll figure it out. Relationship ends, you'll grieve and rebuild. Lose your job, you'll find another path. That unshakable confidence doesn't come from motivational quotes or TED Talk. It comes from war. From walking through your own personal hell and coming out the other side knowing you survived. You don't need more stuff, more followers, or more validation. You need to become the kind of person who can sit alone in a room with their own thoughts and feel at peace. And you don't get there by accident. You get there through discipline, sacrifice, and ruthless honesty. Happiness isn't free. It costs everything that's holding you back. Your bad habits, your limiting beliefs, your excuses, your need for approval, your addiction to comfort. You've got to be willing to kill off the weaker version of yourself to become someone new. And yes, it's terrifying. Yes, it's lonely. Yes, it'll hurt. But it's the only path worth taking, because the alternative is a lifetime of quiet desperation, of numbing yourself with distractions, of chasing things that don't matter, of pretending you're okay when you're not. And if you're honest, you've already been there long enough. It's time to choose something different. The truth is, you're not broken. You're just undisciplined. You're not lost. You've just been avoiding the work. You're not unlucky. You're unprepared. And every single day you keep living like this is a day you can't get back. One day you'll wake up and realize you're out of time, that the chances you thought you had forever to take are gone, and the regret will be deafening. Don't let it get there. Start now. Choose discipline, choose integrity, choose growth, choose yourself, and watch everything else fall into place.